Hello friends, once again welcome to the new video. In this video we will going to learn about the kinds of companies. Students, on the basis of number of members, the companies are classified into three types. One person company, that is OPC, private company and public company. In this video we will going to see each of these companies and then we will try to differentiate between these three companies. So let's start the video. First one is one person company. According to section 2 subsection 62 of Companies Act, a one person company is a company that has only one person as to its member. So student, by the definition itself it is clear, a one person company is a company in which there is only one member or a shareholder. Now let us see some of the features of one person company. A one person company is a private company which has a single person as a member or a shareholder. OPC can have only one member or shareholder, unlike other private companies. A unique feature of OPC is that it separates it from other kind of companies is that the sole member of the company has to mention a nominee while registering the company. Say for example, I have created a one person company, so at the time of registering I have to appoint a nominee in the absence of mine. No perpetual succession. Since there is only one member in an OPC, his death will result in the nominee choosing or rejecting to become its sole member. This does not happen in other companies as they follow the concept of perpetual succession. So while we were going through the characteristics of a company, we have seen that a company has a perpetual succession. That means the members may come and go, but the company keeps on operating its activities. But in case of an OPC, because only one person is the member of the company, so in case of his death, it depends upon the nominee whether he wants to continue or want to wind up the company. Minimum one director. In an OPC, they have to appoint one director, a minimum one director, and the maximum number of directors can be 15. Companies Act 2013 has not prescribed any amount as minimum paid up capital for OPC. But the paid up capital for an OPC should not exceed 50 lakh rupees. One of its features is that its average annual turnover in 3 years should not exceed rupees 2 crores. These are some of the features of one person company. Now let us move to a private company. Private and public company you have already studied in class 11th. Section 2 subsection 68 of Companies Act 2013 defines private companies. According to that, private companies are those companies whose article of association restrict the transferability of shares and prevent the public at large from subscribing to them. The section further says private companies can have a maximum of 200 members except for one person company. So we have already seen that one person company is also a kind of personal private company, but in case of OPC the maximum number of member is restricted to 1. Only one person can be the member. But in case of a private company, the maximum number of member is restricted to 200. As well as their article of association restrict the transferability of shares. That means the shareholders cannot easily transfer their shares to someone else. Now let us see some of the features of a private company. No minimum capital required. There was a minimum paid up share capital requirement of rupees 1 lakh previously, but that is now omitted according to new Company Act or revised Company Act 2013. Minimum 2 and maximum 200 members. A private company can have a minimum of just 2 members and a maximum of 200 members. So this we have already seen. In case of a private company, the minimum number of members is 2 and the maximum number of members is restricted to 200. Transferability of share restricted. Private companies cannot freely transfer their shares to the public like public companies. This is why stock exchanges never list private companies. So students, in case of a public company, you have already studied in class 11th, before issuing shares, the companies have to get their shares listed in an stock exchange. But private companies does not need to do so. Then private limited. All private companies must include the word private limited in their name. That means at the end they have to write private limited. For an example, Hindustan Lever Private Limited. It is a private company, and to denote it, they have to write the word private limited at the end of their name. Now student, let us move to a public company. A public limited company is a legal designation of a limited liability company. It offers shares to the public and has limited liability. The shares can be acquired by anyone through initial public offering or through stock market. So students, a public limited company is a company who can subscribe its capital to the public, who can collect money from the public, they can get their shares listed in the stock exchange. The liabilities of the members of a public companies are limited, and anyone can buy the shares of a public company either through initial public offer or through any stock market. Now let us see some of the features of a public company. The company has separate legal existence apart from its member who compose it. So this also we have seen while seeing the features of the company, that a public company has a separate legal existence apart from its member who have composed it. For an example, some members have come together, they have made an association and started a company. After the company is incorporated, the company has its separate legal entity. Its formation, working, and its winding up, all its activities are strictly governed by rules, laws, and regulation. So, in case of a public company, the formation of a public company, the activities carried out by a public company, its winding up, all these activities are strictly governed by the rules and regulations given in Companies Act 2013 or any previous Companies Act. A company must have a minimum of 7 members, but there is no limit as regard to the maximum number of members. So students, in case of a public limited company, the minimum number of members required is 7, while there is no maximum limit. The company collects its capital by the sale of its shares, and those who buy the shares are called its members. The amount so collected is called the share capital. So we have already seen that a public company issues their share to the public to subscribe their capital, and the members who buy the shares are called the shareholder or the member of the company. The shares of the company are freely transferable, and that too without the prior consent of other shareholders or subsequent notice to the company. So we have seen while we were studying private companies, in case of a private company, there is restriction to transfer share. But in case of a public company, the shares can be easily transferable. The liability of the members of a company is limited to the face value of the shares he owns. Once he has paid the whole of the face value, he has no obligation to contribute anything to pay off to the creditors of the company. So this is one of the unique feature of a public company. The public company have a limited liability in case the company is not able to pay its creditors. The personal property of the members or the shareholders cannot be utilized. The liabilities of the members or the shareholders is limited to the extent the value of shares they own or to the amount of guarantee given by the shareholders. The shareholders of a company do not have the right to participate in the day-to-day management of the business of the company. This ensures the separation of ownership from management. So we have already seen this while we were discussing the features of the company. The shareholders are the real owner of the company, but they do not participate in the day-to-day activities. The power of decision making in a company is vested in the board of directors, and all policy decisions are taken at the board level by the majority rules. So there is a board of directors who are responsible for and who have the power to take the decisions related to policies and other rules and regulations. Now student, let us see the difference between one person company, private company and a public company. One important thing while going through the differences is that once you study the difference, all the features of these three companies will be clear. The first basis of difference is number of members. In case of one person company, minimum and maximum number of member is 1. That means minimum and maximum 1 member can be there. In case of a private company, the minimum number of member is 2 and the maximum number of member is restricted to 200. While in case of a public company, the minimum number of member is 7 and the maximum number of member there is no restriction. Then come to the second difference, that is transfer of shares. In case of OPC, as there is only one owner of the company, one member of the company, one shareholder of the company, transfer of share is not applicable. In case of a private company, Article of Association restricts the transfer of shares. That means in case of a private company, the shares cannot be easily transferred. While in case of a public company, transfer of share is usually without any restriction. That means transfer of shares can be freely done. Then come to the third basis, that is prospectus. In case of OPC, prospectus is not required and the shares are not subscribed by the public. In case of a private company, prospectus need not to be issued because private companies also do not issue their shares to the public. In case of a public company, prospectus must be issued to invite public to subscribe for shares. If not, a statement in lieu of prospectus is filled with the registrar of companies. That means in case of a public company, because the public companies, they are issuing their shares to the public, they have to invite public to subscribe for their share. So they have to issue a prospectus to the public. Subscription of share. Shares cannot be offered to public. So in case of one person company, because there is only one shareholder, the shares are not subscribed to the public. In case of a private company, shares cannot be offered to public. But in case of a public company, shares can be offered to the public. That means a public company collects its capital by issuing the shares to the public. Now come to the next basis, that is name. The word OPC is used as part of the name. That means in case of one person company, after the name, the word OPC is to be placed. In case of a private company, the word private limited is used. After the name, of the company, the word private limited is used. While in case of a public company, the word limited is used. Only limited is used as a part of the name. Then come to article of association. In case of one person company, a special article of association are necessary. Article of association means the internal rules and regulation of the company which helps in the management of the company. In case of a private company also, a special article of association is necessary. While in case of a public company, Table F in the Companies Act 2013 may be adopted. That means if a public company does not want to create their own article of association, they can follow Table F in the Companies Act 2013. Now come to number of directors. In case of one person company, at least one director but not more than 15. That means in case of OPC, minimum one director is necessary and the maximum limit cannot be more than 15. In case of a private company, at least 2 directors but not more than 15. And in case of a public company, at least 3 directors, that means minimum 3 directors are required but should not be more than 15. Thank you students for watching the video.